For over 2 centuries, mainstream history taught us one absolute rule. Human civilization started with agriculture. First, we learned to farm. Then we built cities, temples, and monuments. That story seemed complete. It was simple, until one discovery forced archaeologists to rethink it. Buried beneath the dusty hills of southeastern Turkey lies a site that predates the Egyptian pyramids by nearly 6,000 years. It is older than Stonehenge, older than written language, and older than the invention of the wheel. Welcome to Göbekli Tepe, the 12,000-year-old sanctuary that challenged one of archaeology's oldest ideas about the origins of civilization: the impossible discovery. In 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt walked up a hill called Göbekli Tepe, which translates to Potbelly Hill. Local farmers had considered it an annoyance for generations, constantly hitting carved stone slabs with their ploughs. When Schmidt brushed away the topsoil, he expected to find a minor medieval cemetery. Instead, he uncovered massive T-shaped limestone monoliths, standing up to 18 feet tall and weighing up to 50 tons each, arranged in perfect concentric circles. When carbon dating results came back from the lab, scientists thought the machinery was broken. The site was dated to roughly 9,600 BCE. To put that into perspective, when Göbekli Tepe was built, woolly mammoths were still roaming parts of the earth. Humans were hunter-gatherers, living in small bands of 20 to 30 people, surviving day-to-day using crude flint tools. How did primitive hunter-gatherers cut, carve, and transport 50-ton megaliths? Without metal tools, without wheels, without domesticated animals, and thousands of years before the pyramids were even imagined? The carvings and the code. As excavators dug deeper, they discovered over 20 distinct circular enclosures, but it wasn't just the size of the stones that sent shockwaves through the archaeological world. It was what was carved on them. In relief, meaning the background stone was carefully carved away, so the animal appears to rise out of the surface, were striking depictions of scorpions, foxes, snakes, boars, vultures, and even headless human figures. These weren't gentle scenes of everyday life. They were powerful, dangerous animals, guardians of something sacred, or symbols whose meaning has been lost over thousands of years. One pillar in particular has fascinated researchers more than any other. It is known as Pillar 43, better known as the Vulture Stone. One controversial interpretation proposed by researcher Dr. Martin Sweatman suggests that the symbols carved into this pillar may represent a map of the night sky around 10,950 BCE, a date associated with the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, which proposes that fragments of a comet may have triggered dramatic climate change at the end of the last ice age. Not all archaeologists agree with this interpretation. Many researchers remain skeptical, arguing that the carvings could represent religious symbols, myths, or local traditions instead. But the debate itself raises an extraordinary question. If the carvings really preserve memories of an ancient, cosmic event, could Göbekli Tepe have been more than a ceremonial site? Could it have been built to preserve knowledge of a catastrophe so devastating that its memory survived for thousands of years in stone? Or are we simply seeing patterns where none were ever intended? That question remains unanswered. The impossible paradox. To build just one of these stone enclosures would have required an organized workforce of hundreds of people working together for months. Some researchers estimate that as many as 500 to 1,000 workers may have been needed to quarry, transport, and raise the massive limestone pillars. In mainstream archaeology, that level of organization is usually associated with permanent settlements, leaders, skilled builders, reliable food supplies, and a society capable of coordinating large numbers of people. Yet, within the area surrounding Göbekli Tepe, archaeologists found no clear evidence of a large permanent settlement from the same period. There were no cities, no confirmed domesticated crops from the earliest phase of the site, and no evidence that thousands of people lived there year-round. Instead, many researchers believe groups of hunter-gatherers may have traveled long distances to gather here at certain times of the year. They came together, raised these enormous stone circles, performed ceremonies whose meaning has been lost, and then returned to their own regions. If that's true, it challenges one of archaeology's oldest assumptions. For generations, many historians believed that agriculture came first, then permanent settlements, and only afterward came large ceremonial monuments. But Göbekli Tepe suggests the story may have been more complicated. Some archaeologists now argue that shared rituals and ceremonial gatherings may have encouraged people to organize, cooperate, and eventually settle together. Over time, that cooperation may even have contributed to the development of agriculture itself. Not everyone agrees with this interpretation. The relationship between religion, settlement, and farming is still actively debated. But one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Göbekli Tepe forces us to ask a question that few archaeologists imagined just a few decades ago. Did civilization create great temples? Or did great temples help create civilization? The deliberate burial. As mind-bending as Göbekli Tepe's construction is, the biggest mystery isn't how it was built, it's how it ended. Around 8,000 BCE, after serving its purpose for nearly 1,500 years, Göbekli Tepe wasn't destroyed by war. It wasn't abandoned because of an earthquake. And there is no evidence that a natural disaster buried it. Instead, it was deliberately buried. Hundreds of tons of soil, broken stone, animal bones, and other material were carefully brought in to fill the enclosures, gradually covering the entire complex beneath an artificial hill. This wasn't the work of nature. It appears to have been a deliberate human decision. But why? Why would a society spend centuries building one of its most important ceremonial sites, only to bury it with such extraordinary care? Were they protecting it from an unknown threat? Were they preserving it as a time capsule for future generations? Or was the burial itself part of a sacred ritual whose true meaning has been lost to history? No one knows. And that's what makes Göbekli Tepe so fascinating. Even today, archaeologists continue to debate not only why it was built, but also why it was intentionally hidden beneath the earth for thousands of years. Some mysteries disappear as science advances. Göbekli Tepe seems to create even more questions every time a new discovery is made. Here's perhaps the most astonishing part of the entire story. Ground-penetrating radar surveys suggest that only a small portion of Göbekli Tepe has been excavated. Much of the site still lies hidden beneath the Turkish soil, waiting to reveal whatever secrets it has protected for more than 12,000 years. Every new excavation has the potential to rewrite what we know about the distant past. As we dig deeper, we aren't just uncovering ancient stones. We're uncovering new questions about our own history, revealing that early human societies may have been far more organized and complex than we once imagined. Was Göbekli Tepe a temple, an ancient gathering place, an observatory, or something we've yet to understand? Perhaps the most remarkable discovery hasn't been made yet. So, what do you think was the true purpose of Göbekli Tepe? Share your theory in the comments below. If you enjoyed decoding this mystery, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next journey into the forgotten chapters of history. Because if only a small fraction of Göbekli Tepe has been uncovered, then the greatest discovery may still be waiting beneath the earth. Until next time, keep questioning the history books